Hi students, in this lesson we will be looking at how to solve a cubic equation using complex numbers. When you solve a cubic equation, you will end up in these three situations. Either you will be getting three distinct real roots, or you will be getting two distinct real roots, or one real root with two imaginary roots. The key information I want you to remember here is the graph of a cubic must cross the x-axis at least once, giving you a real root and two imaginary roots. So any problem that involves solving a cubic equation will have at least one real solution. Keeping this information in your mind, we are trying to solve this cubic equation. As I told you, the graph of cubic must crosses the x-axis at least once, giving you a real root and two imaginary root. So our target is to identify which one of these is a real root. So how are we going to do that? By using a reminder theorem. So identify the constant and figure out the factors of 10, and you will get this many options. You have to try each one of these factors to find which one gives you as a reminder 0 to identify which one is the real factor for this cubic equation. So let's try with 1, and in this one it's not equivalent to 0, so 1 is not a factor of this cubic equation. So let's try with -1, and this particular equation it gives equals to 0, so x plus 1 is a factor. So we figured out one of the factors of this cubic equation, which is x plus 1, and the rest of the quadratic factors we need to figure it out. So to identify the coefficients of a, which is x cube, let's see, the coefficients of x cube is 1. So x times x squared gives you x cubed. So in order to get the coefficients as 1, look at the coefficients over here. 1 times what gives you 1. So which obviously 1. So a must be 1. And look at the constant 10. In order to get the 10, we have to look at 1 times what number gives you 10. So which is obviously 1 times 10. So C must be 10. So in order to figure out the coefficients of B, we need to compare the x terms. When you compare the x terms on this particular expressions, which is, you will get bx plus 10x should be compared with the given cubic equation of the x term, which is 8x, and collect the like terms and figure out the value of b, which gives you -2. So plug in all those values a, b, and c. You will end up getting this quadratic equation. Now we need to furthermore factorize this quadratic equation. Now we can see it is not easy to factorize, so it must be factorized over complex number. The next step is we need to know how to factorize this quadratic equation using complex numbers. So we have two different methods. Either we can use quadratic rule, or we can use completing the squares to figure out the rest of the factors. So we end up getting the roots of the cubic equations are -1, which is one real root, and 1 plus 3i and 1 minus 3i are the rest of the imaginary roots. If you want to visualize these roots in a graph, you will see like this. One real root is -1, and two other imaginary roots is 1 plus 3i and 1 minus 3i. So this is how you figure out or solve a cubic equation using complex number. Now your turn to try.